So look, I know I've only been traveling for about 2 months now, maybe 2.5 months now, and I'm still kind of a baby in this off-road living and, living in a vehicle type of lifestyle. One thing that I will say is that I've experienced more things these past 2 months than in my entire life, and that's just a fact. And when I say experiences, I don't just mean good experiences. There's some pretty shitty experiences that we went throughout this whole trip as well. And I'd be lying to you if I say it was all glamorous, but it's really not. And look, this type of lifestyle is very glamorous sometimes. I know it looks very glamorous, we're in a beautiful scenic views and that's all that happens all the time. It's really not like that. Shit goes wrong every single day. For example, something that happened literally a couple days ago is I shattered my bus door. We're literally sleeping inside a house that has an open door. Anyone could just walk in here. That sucks. Another great example is this leaking gas tank. This gas tank can't be found anywhere. We traveled hundreds and hundreds of different cities and small towns, and everyone is either telling me, number one, they can do it for $5,000, or number two, you're shit out of luck because I can't find this gas tank anywhere. So that sucks. Or how about the fact that I literally have to shit and piss inside this bucket every single day, and I have to dump it every 3 days at certain dump stations? Or how about the fact that my utensil drawer that holds all of my forks, knives, and spoons is underneath my sitting area because it doesn't want to work inside these drawer slides? Or how about the fact that we don't even have AC in the middle of 90-degree weather, and the only thing to ventilate this metal can essentially is this small little fan that doesn't even work. So it's like $400 down the drain. That sucks. And I know I'm kind of going a little bit overboard on the complaining, and honestly I can go on for hours and hours and hours on end because there's a bunch of shit that's going on with this bus, and honestly it's no one else's fault but mine. But can you really complain with this type of view? We're currently in the middle of California at Santa Cruz. I've always wanted to come here. If you can't tell already, I live in the back of this bus full time. I've been doing it for about 2 months now. And I'm really just trying to make a point on what it would actually look like to live inside a bus, because a lot of the times creators out there, they just want to show the views and the beaches and all these different types of experiences, when all reality, that's not always the case. And this whole journey of living inside the back of this bus all started when I was 20 years old. Just like any other 20, 21, 22-year-old, or just a regular college student, you still don't know what you want to do in life. How could you? You're like still a baby. When I was 20 years old, I was moving into my college dorm room. I was a freshman. I was meeting new people. I was getting outside my comfort zone. I mean, things were going good. And then COVID happened. And with the pandemic, everyone was going crazy. No one knew exactly what was going on. So they sent us back home from college. And, that really sucked, because I felt like for the first time, I was actually becoming my own person. Meeting new people outside of my hometown, experiencing different things, and just getting outside my comfort zone. So being sent home just really sucked. From there was Zoom University, where they essentially just put us up into online classes, expecting us to actually go to class. And just like any other regular student, if you actually did go to class, you were either playing video games, you were watching TV shows on Netflix, or you were like me. You were watching YouTube videos, which is exactly what sparked this entire dream of living in a bus. You see, while everyone else was freaking out about COVID and playing board games, trying to figure out a puzzle, or just binging their TV shows, I saw people on YouTube convert vans, buses, and RVs and travel the world, travel the country. And it was the perfect time to do it. And I was so envious of that, because here I am, I'm kind of stuck trying to get a college degree that I know that I'm most likely not even going to use in the future. And here these people are kind of living out my dreams, traveling the world. So that's when I said to myself, I have the rest of my life to work and do what I ever have to do. Literally the rest of my life. So why not right now? Fuck it. And in that moment forward, that was literally my motto. Fuck it. Why not? Just do it. And that's when I actually got that motto planted onto my leg. Anytime I want to do something that even sounds remotely crazy, go to a new city, convert a bus into a little tiny home and travel the country, I say fuck it. And I press this button right here, literally. I finished out college, I graduated with a marketing degree, and from there, the dream was still the same. The dream was always to live inside a bus ever since my freshman year. With that being said, I was also not delusional. I was a broke college kid coming off with, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of student loan debt, and I knew that I needed to find a job. And then I found a job remote. And at this point, I've already had the bus because I saved up just a bunch of money from previous summer jobs. And I was already working on the bus before I even had a job, which is crazy to even think about. But I ended up getting a job in sales and knew that I had to bust my ass for at least a couple months before I left just to, really just prove to them that, I can juggle two things at one time. And that was my biggest fear, is that, I thought my job wasn't going to be, really receptive to this type of lifestyle because this is a full-time job. Living on the road is a full-time job, and working a full-time job in sales, it's not easy. And after a couple months of really just busting my ass and working really hard and closing a couple of deals, it got to a point where the bus was starting to finish up, and we were about probably a month out from actually leaving and traveling the country. So from there, I really just started creating a big spiel on what exactly to tell my boss because, I really liked my job and I was doing really good. I was closing some deals and, I really didn't want them to think that I was just going to pick things up and just travel the world and, not work at their job. And I didn't want them to think that. So I finally had the courage to, set up a meeting with my boss and, I memorized my lines, my big spiel of what exactly I was going to tell him. And, the conversation really looked like, hey, listen, I bought a bus a couple months ago. I, turned it into a little tiny home and, I'm going to travel the country and I want to do it remote. I don't want to leave this job. I love this job. And he stopped me right in my tracks and he said, Dom, I don't even care, dude. You can do whatever you want. It's your life. As long as you do what you have to do, you do what's required and you love what you do and you want to stay with us, and by all means do it. That was literally my golden ticket on actually, getting out of my hometown and traveling the country. So after COVID, after buying the bus, after getting a job and, finally getting approved by my boss that I could essentially, work anywhere as long as I do what's expected of me, we started all the way back from New Jersey, traveled for about 2 months, and we've experienced all types of different things. I mean, we tried the best cheese in the country. We tried Chicago-style pizza. We did one of the most dangerous hikes in the world. We seen Mount Rushmore. We went to a rodeo. We stealth camped in multiple cities, jumped into a hot spring. We tried Canada's famous dessert. We seen the Golden Gate Bridge and so many different more experiences that I can go on for hours and hours and hours on end. And, I can really just only say that I'm just so grateful for these past 2 months. It's really crazy to think that, once you're finally on the road, it's, it's so easy to complain about all the bad things that happen, but when you take a step back and actually look exactly what's going on in my life, I'm just, like I said, very grateful to be here. And, it's so easy to nitpick and say, oh, this sucks, but I wouldn't trade this opportunity for anything. And if you're going to get anything out of this video, then I would just say step outside your comfort zone, whether it be build a bus, move to another city, or, maybe it's go up to another person and just meet a new friend. Whatever that might be, just step outside your comfort zone because you'll never regret it. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys next video. Ciao.